Hi, Morley here. Today we're going to look at how to set up a project on the Klocwork server and run your first integration build analysis. Then, we'll look at incremental analysis and how you can add key commands to your build scripts to automate the process. This video is aimed at build engineers or Klocwork administrators. A quick note about prerequisites. To perform the steps in this video, you should know how to build your software. As far as Klocwork Insight prerequisites go, you require the project admin role. In addition, the Klocwork server package must be installed and your servers must be running. We call the analysis of your regular software build an integration build analysis. An integration build analysis provides a view of the overall health of your codebase, populates reports with detected issues and metrics in Klocwork Review, and gives developers a project to connect their local projects to. Here we have a sample script containing the commands to capture build settings, run the analysis, and load the results. I'm using Windows, but everything I'm going to show you here today uses the same commands for Linux, Solaris, or OS X. You don't want to create a project every time you analyze. Otherwise, you won't get trending reports. This simple script serves as a handy reference, so that you don't have to look up commands each time you need to set up and analyze a project. Let's run through the process of creating a project on the Klocwork server and running your first integration build analysis. Think of a project as a container for your analysis results and configuration settings. In Klocwork Review, click Create Project and fill in the information. I like to include a description because this information is included in searches in Klocwork Review. Tags are a great way to organize your projects, allowing you to sort by specified criteria. I'll indicate the language and platform. The next step is capturing your build settings. If you build with Ant, you replace calling ant with a call to kwant in your build procedure. If you use Maven instead, you follow the same basic idea, replacing any invocation of Maven with kwmaven. Both kwant and kwmaven record any invocation of the javac task, logging your class path and the source modules that are compiled. The output of both is a build specification, which instructs Klocwork Insight in how to compile your code. Think of a build specification as a makefile. Let's take a look at the build specification to make sure that compiler options have been processed. We want to make sure the file contains jconfig and jcompile lines. If jcompile or jconfig lines are missing, make sure that your project contains Java source files. Or, you may need to use another way to capture your build settings. Next, we run KW build project, specifying the URL to the project on the Klocwork server, where to store the tables directory, and which build specification to use. The tables directory contains the intermediate results of the source code analysis. Results aren't finalized until they're loaded into the Klocwork server. Next, we load our results with kwadmin load. This step copies source files and include files to the project's root in a zip archive. The project's root stores data for the Klocwork servers and applications. It's always a good idea to check your build log for errors. We do that in Klocwork Review. You can also find the build log and the parse errors log in the tables directory. Before we move on, I want to provide you with tips on how you can build on one machine, but keep all your projects on the Klocwork server installed on a different machine. In this example, the build tools, kwant, kwbuild project, and kwadmin, are installed on a Linux machine, which is where we run the analysis. The project is created and accessed from the Klocwork server on a Windows machine. We create the project on the Klocwork server on Windows, run the build tools on the Linux machine, then load the results on Windows, where users can access reports and metrics. Okay, here we have a sample script with commands that could be incorporated into your build script, so that incremental analysis runs with each nightly build for this project. We recreate the build specification to capture any changes, such as source file additions or changes to build settings. This step is the same as the previous script. Then, we run kwbuild project incremental. Incremental analysis is quicker because only changed files as well as their dependencies are analyzed. The last step is loading your results. This step is also the same as was shown earlier. From time to time you may need to run a full build analysis. A full build analysis should be performed whenever you do a full rebuild of your source files. Again, recapture your build settings. Run kwbuild project force to override incremental analysis. Well, that's it. Feel free to download the sample files discussed in this video using the links below. Be sure to check out our other videos and the documentation at developer.klocwork.com. Thanks for watching.